Ukraine. The Ukrainian soldiers are constantly showing us their captured Russians who are like, I'm so sorry. I thought I was here on a training exercise. I didn't mean to do this. I regret this.
Look, I believe every bit of that because those are Twitter videos. I'm seeing like, I think my handle just fell off my chair. Sorry. I'm seeing like, or something out of my pocket. I'm seeing like Twitter videos and Reddit clips from like Ukrainian soldier Redditors who are like, here's some fucking Ruskies I caught. Let's see what they had to say. And it's not like they're at the Ministry of Propaganda and someone's like, now you tell them the story that we told you to tell. We're out in like woods and streets and fields. Sometimes we're in front of brick buildings. They're all saying the same thing. And like no one out.
If it was untrue propaganda, it would be in a fancy building.
The only person who is saying that look, I said this the other day to you guys, not everything is a psyop. And if you start questioning everything, like you can't,
have you noticed the skies are always gray? I think all this footage came from the same day.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, or maybe Eastern Europe is a shit tier place to live and it's always fucking great. And if they had some sunshine, if those Slavs had some fucking sunshine, they wouldn't be blowing each other up left and right. Maybe. Although, explain the Middle East.
They have tons of sunshine.
So much sunshine.
Their outfits prevent them from getting vitamin D.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, but no, I don't think that that's propaganda in the slightest. I think that those Russian troops were sent out there. Like that's what Russia's always done. They've sent their conscripts first to do recon, evaluation, and hey, if you make it, fucking, we got medals up the wazoo for you, Vasily.
I don't think what Woody and I was thinking about it is that like that those videos are fake or anything. It's just like, how do we know how reminiscent of the situation that video is? You know, like if that video is being promulgated to tens of millions of people and it's one incident, it can very easily make people think, oh, the Ukrainians are kicking ass, they're dominating. But if that's not the norm and it's like a picked video, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to know.
Part of, let me jump in.
Yeah.
That's part of what I was saying, Taylor. The other half of it is these are captured soldiers. If you captured any one of us and had 20 angry people pointing a gun at us, blaming us for the death of their little sister, and they were like, say fuck Biden, that's what I'm about to say.
Absolutely.
Right?
But that's not all they're saying. Look, like I take that. I'm like, hey, they made him say a funny thing. When I see those, like no one sees that and thinks that this soldier has changed his mind and now thinks their leader is a shithead. That's not the purpose of that video.
Yeah.
That's about humiliating that Russian soldier. The best video I've seen. These guys are in like a truck with a rear seat and they have picked up a fucking Russian and they got him in the back seat center. He is surrounded by 4 Ukrainians and they're driving him along and they're like, say glory to Ukraine. And he's like, he doesn't want to say it. He's like, say it. You say it or I really will pull over this time. And that suggests 2 different things. One, pulling over and letting this Russian out would be bad for him. He don't want
them to pull over.
Number 2, this is not the first time they've threatened to pull over and put him out. and like, I love every second of that because it's civilians. It's not like some like mean Russian, Ukrainian commando Nazis have caught this guy. Some farmers caught this guy. And like it's just like they're like some good old boys from around here. The Ukraine, for those who don't know, like especially like the southeastern part that they attacked first, is like farmland. It's the breadbasket of Europe. It's their Kansas and whatever else is next to Kansas. I don't even know, and I live here.
I don't think anyone knows that.
So there's lots of farmers, and there's lots of like farmers and like good old boy Ukrainians.
There are other states that start with K. Maybe Kentucky's near it.
Ukraine let its citizens know today that any Russian equipment or material that they capture they do not have to declare as personal income. He's like, that's yours. Keep in mind that a T-72 operational tank has to be worth $1 million. It has to.
Ask, what are these farmers? I'm on Reddit watching video after video of various tractors stealing like heavy machinery that used to be Russian.
Yeah,
I guess it's still Russian in origin, but it's Ukrainian now.
Yeah,
and
so I don't play into those. I don't play into those like tank games, and I don't care. Like I know. So I don't recognize.
Friend, where do I resell a tank?
I don't know.
I would know if like I know people who do that and like move them across like international lines and stuff. Like I know those people. it's difficult, but it's easier than you think if you've got money, and they do, and that's what they do. Like those guys that collect tanks and stuff out there in Texas. But anyway, they're capturing not just like old shitty tanks and trucks and stuff, because that's what I thought initially, or maybe some of those like sort of troop carrying APC type vehicles that have tracks. I don't know what they are, BRDMs or something. No, I saw them capture the Russians' most advanced anti-aircraft platform. It's like a tank with this huge pod of like rockets on top, and it's not the Grad launcher that they use to bombard cities. It's this like sophisticated thing that they would use to try to shoot down.
Is that the picture of it? Like, it didn't look that stuck in the mud.
A lot of it. So again, now this
they
is
still
when
ditched it.
So the things that I take salted are when I hear that Russians are sabotaging their own equipment so that they can say they broke down and walk back. Like maybe that's not true, although I would.
I've heard that Russians are puncturing their own fuel tanks, and then like their tank or whatever. I don't know how you puncture a tank's fuel tank. I'd hope it's armored, but they're puncturing their own fuel tanks. Now their thing is stuck. Now they don't have to go into Kiev and die. They can sort of honorably walk back to Russia or something.
Many are,
and
I would give that a go.
And not only does it disable that piece of equipment, but it creates a fuel shortage problem, which is a problem already.
Yeah. Here's what I want to know, and I think if there is a way to do this, someone should like let people know or start facilitating it. There's a lot of people who would sign up to go over there and fight if there were a way for them to do so legally. I saw some footage from the Polish border, and this guy was like dressed like a scav from Tarkov, and they're like, "Where are you going?" He said, "Glory to Ukraine! I will say no more!" And he like kept heading toward Ukraine.
What a lunatic!
All he had was one black bag.
Naked. I'm just starting out.
He had one black bag and like wearing all black, and then he was like 45 years old. Glory to Ukraine! I will say no more.
Did you hear Zelensky like inviting people to do that? So I heard it from him. Well, it was on the internet. I mean, we weren't talking or anything, but Zelensky told me that I could come to Ukraine and don't even bring a gun. He will give me the weapons and the things that I need. Just give him manpower.
Yeah, hard pass on that. I'm not going to go fight in Ukraine. What are you, insane? Like, fuck no.
What if
it looks like fun?
It does not sound like fun. It's not a video game. It's real.
Fun for a little bit, until it hurts.
You just dude, I guarantee like the 36 Americans who end up there, like, don't even consider cardio until they are like, they're looking at like, wait, it's miles that way. I'm going home. Like,
it's the United States Gravy Meal Team 6 who just signs up.
Meal Team 6, I like that.
But wants to go fight.
But what if I record it?
Then,
well, wait, is your footage that much more special? I mean, I know that you're FPSRussia, but there's a lot of footage coming in. Yeah. Who would you fight for?
I would fight for Ukraine. Are you insane?
That's not really
no,
in character.
I'm not. One, you are FPSRussia.
We would have to fix that. That's an easy fix.
We have captured Ukrainian named Kyle Myers. Oh, look how perfect his American accent is. You don't fool us. Take another finger, Ivan. Take another finger. Send to Putin.
That implies two things. One, they're taking a finger. Two, they've taken a finger already. We know that's death for Kyle.
I'm from Georgia. Well, close enough.
We will come to your country soon enough. They are
tortured in the back of.
No, look at them. They're like fucking scabs. They got their fucking Adidas track suits on.
Wait, are those guns made of cardboard?
Well, the one on the right has a cardboard gun, but ignore that.
No, the one on the left does too.
They both have cardboard guns?
Why do they have cardboard guns?
I'm concerned that
Fox News is the worst.
That's not gonna help them in fighting at all.
Those guys had cardboard guns.
That's the absolute worst thing you could take to battle. Make yourself a target and it's a cardboard.
Although, hear me out. If you could do some, if you could do some sort of like, if you got caught with your cardboard AK, if you like transitioned in some sort of mime work, some sort of Charlie Chaplin type bit where you were like, hoo, and like spit, like walking around with the gun, like maybe you're gonna
Mr. Magoo your way out of being a prisoner.
They're taking me prisoner, but they'll treat me well because I make them laugh. They'll be like, do the thing.
I love that. Like in your version of going over there, before you even get over there, before you get captured, you're already prepping yourself with Stockholm syndrome for your Russian capturers. But I'll be funny. They'll like me. I'll be popular with the Russians.
As soon as they get me, I've got lies already to tell. I'm like, I'm an American that plays a Russian that was fighting against Ukrainians. Okay, it's very simple, sir. I think we're losing a little bit in translation right now.
Could I lost?
Does anyone have an iPhone with YouTube? It'll help tremendously. I
Apple
promise.
no longer sells here.
No,
that was my Russian accent. God is bad.
I think if I could show some Russian soldiers like a couple of videos, they'd be pretty chill with me.
Which one would you show them to endear yourself to them?
AA-12, I think everyone seems to like that. But anything with a tank, if it's show them the tank stuff because I think
what's your most viewed video? Is it the AA-12 one?
Probably so.
Oh, there was a COD one that did really well too with the drone, maybe.
Yeah, I think I don't think it got too many. Like maybe 10,
maybe I'm wrong.
10 or 15 or something like that. Like to me, like a lot is like if a video hits like 50. Like I think it's kind of like, oh, that video is just going to grow forever. I think once it hits 50, like as long as it's something that's somewhat pertinent. But I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, from the A12 video, get out of a tight spot, or maybe some highlights. Maybe be dodging the door. I don't know. Whatever would get me out of that spot. But no, I don't think I want to. I
definitely show them the dog collar video.
Oh.
Look,
do it. They'd be like, do it again.
I would.
This is the dog collar guy. Wait, no, that's not what I was suggesting at all.
Dude, I have had people like bust my chops on that in real life. Like, dude, you've humiliated yourself. And it's like, well, you have a real job, so fuck you. What, you wouldn't trade?
Yeah. I made several $1,000s goofing around with a dog collar. What?
Right? Yeah.
Wage slave. Just drop that on him. Let him know you
call him a wagey.
Wagey? Ooh, that's got some cringe attached. I don't call anybody a wagey. What was it? I saw a clip of an Imager link today with like 13 different pictures, and they were all captured Russians tied to trees in various ways.
So they were okay. I think I saw the same thing. You may have sent it to me. And they were called marauders.
Yes.
I don't know what a marauder is. So I thought maybe they were Ukrainian looters taking advantage of the situation. Maybe. Or they could have been captured Russians like you saw. I just don't know what a marauder means.
I don't know. Maybe that's like the name of their unit or something.
Below it said that that's what they were doing that to Russians that they had captured.
Zach looked up the definition. A person who marauds. Oh, well.
A person who marauds.
to me,
it's a raider. A person who raids.
To me, marauder means violent criminal invader.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get kind of piratey vibes sometimes.
Yeah. I just took it as this doesn't translate precisely.
But they had them like zip tied and saran wrapped to trees and fence posts and light poles in city squares. And it was very clear that some of the villagers were crueler than others because some of these guys just looked sad and they had been saran wrapped to a pole and it was like, we got him. And then some of them, they had gotten zip ties and acted like they were Spider-Man and made this web of zip ties. He looked like the Predator had shot him with one of those net guns. and then they've like pulled his pants down so he can't get him up because he's so like subdued. And then they've like clearly either spanked his ass or painted it or
they wrote something on one of their asses. Now, I don't read Russian, but I imagine it's related to sex.
Enter here.
It's probably not nice. Yeah.
And they all looked very sad.
Yeah, I'd be sad too. I don't want to get duct taped to a post.
No, and then I saw two of them that were stripped buck ass naked, and they had like a very tiny amount of cloth to cover their dick and balls, and they were just kind of shuffling through a street of people. And in each case, it was farmers and townsfolk who had captured these poor fellas.
If you're Russian, can you just blend in with the crowd in Ukraine and be thought of as Ukrainian?
Not at night in Kiev.
Like, for example, if I was raiding Canada and I just change my uniform. I could say I was Canadian.
You're also committing a war crime, and they'll
definitely.
If you get captured doing that, though, it's death.
No, but like what he means is like if you were to randomly pick a group of 10 Russians and 10 Ukrainians, mix them all up, there's not like going to be a big differentiating factor of like, oh, the Ukrainians have dark hair and the Russians blonde.
No, I couldn't do that with Mexico, right? They'd pretty quickly identify me as the American. But in Canada,
Ukrainians do speak both Russian and Ukrainian. So I don't know how many.
They just quiz me.
Swap.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many Russians speak Ukrainian.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, so they could say like, "Hey, what's up, comrade?" And you might hear like, "Hello, blah blah blah, friend," and you'd be like, "Moscow."
Yeah, but we looked at that map though the other day. There are areas of Ukraine where like it says like predominantly Russian. So you could lie and be like, "Oh, I'm from that area." Nobody speaks Ukrainian there.
You think they don't speak Ukrainian?
I think they're checking. I think they're checking.
Maybe I'm misremembering that map where it said like, or it was like, remember it was like red, less red, light blue, dark blue, and it was like almost all Ukrainian speaking, mostly Ukrainian speaking, mostly Russian, almost all Russian.
I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I thought I remembered that map being like where their loyalties and sympathies lie.
That's what I thought as well.
We looked at a couple. Maybe
I think it's loyalties, but it's still the same point. Probably the language might. I think they're checking ID in some cases because whenever they catch these like guys, they're calling spies. Because I saw them catch a couple guys who were just wearing like BMW gear, like a BMW jacket and like some sweatpants or something. And the stuff they caught him with was spy gear, right? But it's like not the James Bond shit you'd imagine. It's actual spy gear. So it's like a stun gun, a laser pointing device that you could like shine at a building. I mean, like that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's IR laser. It looks like a little plastic flashlight, but it's a cheap piece of equipment that would allow them to strike anywhere he points it. And false IDs and what else did he have? Oh, like he had a knife and a few other little like pieces of nonsense, but he didn't have I don't think he had a gun even.
That's an oversight.
Yeah. But then I saw him catch like I've seen them capture a bunch of guys that were actually geared. If we're using Tarkov terms, so far it's been mostly Timmies. All right, I've literally seen the peen helmet. Okay?
What's a Timmy?
So a Timmy in Tarkov is like a brand new guy, and you can spot them visually because of the amount of gear they have and the clothing they wear. Because once you're good at Tarkov, you got so much money that you start buying like custom threads for your character, and they don't. But we all remember what we used to wear. And you can, he's just wearing kind of like a tight t-shirt basically and some military pants. And you're like, oh, Timmy. Plus, he's got nothing. That's a Timmy. A Chad is, a geared up bad motherfucker, right? He's got all this shit. So, like, I've seen so many Russian Timmies. Literally, there's a helmet that if you wear it, you usually consider that guy a Timmy because it's the cheapest helmet in Tarkov.
The penis helmet?
It's from the 1970s. It's this, it looks like it's just a metal helmet with some Kevlar reinforcement, I think. It doesn't do shit. I saw Russians wearing those. I saw them wearing them in walking down the streets wearing those things. It was hilarious. But then I've seen some Chads too. I saw some bad motherfuckers with like bullpup AKs with suppressors on them. So I don't know. I think it runs the gamut. There definitely are Ukrainian special forces. So there's some cool gear on both sides.
I'm sure.
I wish I could. I wish it was like a game where I could check the score.
Yeah.
Like, who's winning right now? Like,
what do you scav in?
Yeah, go volunteer for the Ukrainian army.
I seriously want to know more about how to scav in. Like,
it's a shame that the Jackass movie already came out. I'm Steve-O, and this is Join the Ukrainian Resistance.
You hear? I think it was Sean Penn, right?